All right, guys, I want to introduce someone to you guys. He's absolutely amazing. He's our guest speaker this conference. He's been doing youth ministry for a few years. He's wonderful. He's our national youth director of the Vineyard movement. Give it up for the Christian Dunn.
The message I've given to you this evening is not a new message. It's an ancient message. It's the message of the Old and the New Testament.
Until all may know. Reverb 2024.
Hey guys. Okay, good. Yeah, I was gonna ask if you could turn the lights up so I could see you. That's awesome. That is the worst picture of me ever, by the way. This was like 2 years ago, I needed to do like a bio picture for some website, and so I was like out on the deck trying to take my own picture because no one was home. And I don't know if you can, at some point, bring that back up again. My forehead I have a big forehead as it is, but like my forehead looks like it was one of those 0.5 shots, and that's all I had, and I had to send it. Now it's on websites all over the place. It's ridiculous. So, my name's Christian. How you guys doing tonight? All right. I've got a little bit of a sickness, so my voice might sound a little weird sometimes, but we're gonna power through. I may or may not eat a cough drop during this talk. I brought one up here just in case. Whoa. That was powerful, with authority. Okay, I want to thank Samuel and Kirsten for inviting me to come out here. You guys have phenomenal leaders in this region. I'm a huge fan. I'm taking notes because I'm going to take this and tell other people how to do youth conferences. They brought their A game. I mean, this is good stuff. And worship team, that was phenomenal. I want to give you guys a hand. So, I don't know. I always feel like if you have never met me, you should know a little bit about me before you have to listen to me talk. But it just depends if you guys can pay attention for very long. I already see one dude nodding off. Didn't we talk about this already? All right, come on. So, I'm 46 years old. So I'm old enough to be your parent or maybe your grandparent, depending how old you are. I have 4 kids. My boys are 23 and 21. My girls are 19 and 14. So I've got post-college, college, and middle school. I married my high school sweetheart. Her name's Mandy. She was definitely the most beautiful girl in our class. She didn't know we were high school sweethearts, by the way, but I did. We figured it out. She figured it out later. But we've been married for 25 years. That's the kind of stuff old people say, right? Like, I'm so old. I just want you to know, though, that I really am trying. So I bought these shoes for this conference, literally. What do you think? My kids tell me that they're cool. I literally didn't buy these for myself. I had my kids pick them out. So that's like where I am in my life. And the merch for this is pretty cool. I didn't know how to... Samuel had to teach me how to put the hood the right way, because it's like, I don't know if you've bought one yet, but the hood's giant. I got lost putting it on. You ever put it on backwards? Makes you feel a little stupid. All right, but listen, I want to just share, I've been asked to talk, the theme is that all may know. And we'll get to know each other tonight, tomorrow night, but this is what my life kind of has become all about. All right, and I just want you to know, when I was 14 years old, I started, following Jesus when I was 4, all right? I got saved in the back of my mom's Oldsmobile in JCPenney parking lot. Do you know any of those words? Okay, that sounded like German to you. But at 14, I went on a missions trip, and I had this moment where I said yes to God. And ever since then, I've been trying to figure out what that means. So for 32 years, I've been saying yes to God. And part of what that means for me is taking what God has done in my life and sharing it with other people. And that's all we're gonna talk about this weekend, okay? I wanna just try to give you just a taste of how incredible your life can be. Would you like that? Yeah, my wife and I, we're not rich. We're not like powerful. We're pretty funny, I would say. Pretty funny. She's really good looking. I'm trying to keep up. But like, what we have chosen to do with our lives has been the most meaningful thing that we could ever do with our lives. And it's pouring out our lives for other people to know Jesus. And that's what I want to try to impart to you guys this weekend, okay? So let me ask you a question. I'm gonna try to stay engaged. Also, quick question for the sound people. If I go down there, is it terrible? It is terrible. Okay, I will stay up here. Okay, so are any of you, now like you gotta be really brave, are any of you still scared of the dark? Just be honest if you are. A few of you are telling the truth, and I can see some of you are lying, because you are. Like that kid right there, he's totally scared of the dark. I can tell. What's your name? How do you even know who I'm talking about? What's your name? McCoy. McCoy, you look like someone who would be scared of the dark, no? Okay, I don't know. Maybe check it out tonight, see how he acts. If he sleeps with the light on, he's scared of the dark. I'm an adult and I still sleep with a light on because I don't know, there's something about the dark. So when I was we were first married, we had 2 little kids, we were living in a townhouse. And the thing that happens when you get older is suddenly you become like the parent, but you don't actually change. And so like if something scary happens in your house, whose job is it to deal with it? It's your parents, right? Right. So like when you get married and you're like, I got married pretty young. So at this point I was 24, we had a kid, maybe one on the way. All of a sudden I'm that guy, all right? So we're sleeping, we're in this townhouse, we're in a not great neighborhood, and we hear this loud crash downstairs. And we look at each other and I'm like, I don't wanna go. Like, why did we assume I'm gonna be better at this than you, right? Like, well, all about women's empowerment, honey, just go for it, right? So I grab like the only thing that we have, and for whatever reason, someone gave me like a fish filleting knife. I don't know if you know what kind of knife it is. It's really good for nothing, and it's like curvy, but I grabbed this little fish filleting knife and I go down my stairs, and the way a townhouse works is you go down the stairs and you can't see the house, because the stairs go into the wall, and then you turn the corner, and now you look down a hallway and you can see the back room. So I come down, it's pitch black, I'm terrified of the dark. Have we established that? I've got my fillet knife, I turn the corner, whoa. And down the hallway, there's a little bathroom. And as soon as I turn the corner, the bathroom door goes, for real. Guys, I'm not making this up. And I froze, because 2 things happened. 1, the door moved, right? And 2, I can't see the rest of the house anymore. It blocked the whole hallway. It's a small townhouse. I thought, what do I do? Right, I can't go back upstairs, then we're trapped, right? So I was just like, well, I'm gonna hit that door hard, right? Like if there's somebody on the other side of that door, so I was like, what you do, in case you don't know, there's no classes for this, but all dads do this, right? You start talking really loud. If you're here, I'm coming, right? Like that's what you do. And I've got a fillet knife, right? And I just like shouldered the door, and I was like, I don't know, I've never fought anyone in my life. So if there had been somebody there, I might have just angered them, right? Like this was a terrible plan. There's nobody in my house. And I really didn't want to think about the other options, right? Because okay, so now there's a demon in actually, I'm more comfortable dealing with a demon than a person, to be totally honest. So, so I just prayed through the house and went back to bed. But anyway, darkness is scary, isn't it? And that's even better, thank you. Don't make it too much darker, because it's gonna get scary. All right, so in the Bible, the theme of darkness and light happens over and over and over again. It's right in the beginning, right? Right in the very beginning, God says what? Let there be light. See, even God is scared of the dark, right? He's dwelling, and he dwells in what? Does anybody know? What? Okay, one of you at a time. Someone said he dwells in darkness. I'm pretty sure that's not true. Like God who dwells in darkness. I don't think so. Unapproachable light. He's had so much light, you can't even get close to it. That's my guy, all right? He hates the darkness. So all through the Bible, there's this theme of light and darkness. It's like a battle, right? I see, my fear of darkness is deeply spiritual. Now you understand. Okay, so I wanna talk to you about this theme of light and dark, okay? But before I get there, I have to set it up for you a little bit. Can you put my first slide up? Boom. Let's see if I have control. Ready? Watch this. Oh, I gotta turn it on. They did tell me that is not your fault, that is my fault. Now watch this. Yo, let's go. I cannot read that. Okay, okay, so in the Old Testament, everybody know, some of you know the Old Testament? Okay, we're not gonna spend a lot of time, but you guys know that the Israelites, they were captive, they were slaves in Egypt for hundreds of years, and then God raises up Moses and the plagues, and he delivers them out. Sound familiar? Okay, and so then, what happened? I'm gonna have to turn around to read these. By day, the Lord went ahead of them in a pillar of cloud, and to guide them on their way, and by night, a pillar of fire. To give them right, so because they were scared of the dark too. It started a long time ago, okay? So this pillar of fire travels at night and they follow this pillar of fire. Think about that, okay? This pillar of fire is light in the darkness as they leave the slavery, going through the wilderness to the... It's good, it's a big important theme that someone else is gonna pick up on, okay? So the Israelites follow a pillar of fire. Then for 1,400 years, 1,400 years from that time until Jesus, they were commanded by God to celebrate the Festival of the Tabernacles. Anybody ever been to the Festival of the Tabernacles? As never in my life have I met anyone. Have you seriously? Okay, I just don't know what to do with that. That is, I hope what I say next is true. So there's a lot going on with the Festival of the Tabernacles, but I'm gonna pick one thing, okay? And one thing that they did, they added to it, actually God didn't tell them to do this, it's kind of interesting, but they added to it, is they built these 75-foot tall candles in the temple. 75 feet tall, that's 7.5 basketball hoops. Way up there, giant fire in the temple, multiple ones of them lighting up the whole temple to remind them of what? Light, a fire at night that led them from slavery through the wilderness to the promised land. You with me? Okay, and so Jesus sneaks into this festival. When the Jewish Festival of Tabernacles was near, he went also, not publicly, but in secret. Not until halfway through the festival did Jesus go up to the temple courts and begin to preach. So I want you to picture this. No one knows where Jesus is. They all wish he was there. His disciples tried to convince him to come. He told them he wasn't coming. He was just teasing. Then he came later. Everybody's wondering. They're celebrating huge fires. He comes up into the temple. The fire's on both sides. I don't know if that's actually true, but that's how I picture it in my mind. And he says this. He says, I am the light of the world, right? He says, I am the light of the world. Now see, the reason you need the background is you've read this, 100 times probably in your life. And you're like, oh, that's cool. God's the light of the world. That's neat. I like that. But it's so much more. When Jesus said, I am the light of the world, he was tapping into 1,400 years of tradition, going back to the fire that led them out of bondage and slavery through the wilderness to the promised land. And Jesus is saying, I'm that light, that fire. Actually, the point of the fire in the wilderness out of slavery to the promised land was just to point to Jesus. The main point of that fire wasn't to help them at night. The main point was to set everyone in the world up throughout history to understand and appreciate who Jesus is. Okay? So Jesus says, I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will never walk in darkness. Praise the Lord. Because I'm scared of the darkness. But will have the light of life. So this darkness word, walk in darkness, kind of seems offensive, right? And I don't think listen, don't take out of this teaching that you should go up to your friends at school and be like, dude, did you know you're walking in darkness? Right? Don't do that. That's not gonna start things off well. But the reality is, people are walking in darkness. What is darkness? Let's think about that just for a second. This is important before we get to the rest of the teaching, okay? If God is light, which is what the scripture says, and in him is no darkness at all, okay? If God is light, then all that God is love, God is joy, God is peace, he's patience, God is power, God is forgiveness, God is abundance. All of those things, darkness is the absence of all those things. Darkness is no peace, no joy, no life, no love, no forgiveness, no strength, no power, no wisdom, no encouragement, no comfort. That's darkness. And Jesus says, I'm the light of the world, and anyone who follows me does not have to walk in that darkness anymore. So here in my teaching, like I'm in a thread, I know where I'm going, I know where I've been. I'm gonna hit pause right here. You guys, I don't even know why I made a sound effect. When I was growing up, there was actually buttons that you pressed and they made a noise and it would go in like that. I just traveled back in time with my sound effects. I apologize. Okay. Oh. So the 2 questions real quick and then we'll keep going with the teaching. Are you guys doing okay? Yeah. All right, good. I forgot to start my timer. I knew I was gonna forget. The first question is this: is this you? So we're gonna take a serious pause. Some of us came in tonight walking in darkness. And I don't mean like you don't know Jesus, and maybe that's true. Maybe some of you have been tagging along at youth group, you've been checking Jesus out, you've been on the outskirts, on the fringes, but you've never made a personal commitment to say, I'm all in on Jesus. I'm all in on Jesus. I give him all of me for all of him. You've never made that decision. Tonight, there's an opportunity for you to make that decision at the end of this teaching. I just want you to hold on to that thought because maybe you're here this weekend for that to happen. Maybe it's time. But maybe you're here as a follower of Jesus, but you've been walking in darkness because you're walking in grief right now. Because you're walking in pain right now. Because the insecurity and self-hatred has gotten so powerful that you can't get your head above it anymore. That the anxiety has just been so, I struggle with anxiety. And what anxiety feels like when it's really maxed out is like you're in prison. Like your mind is in a prison and you can't get out and you want to escape. And I want to say to you right now, number one, that if you are feeling like I am battling darkness in my life, that Jesus sees you right now. And when I see you, I mean, I literally do see you all, but I want you to say, that's right, I recognize. It doesn't mean you're less than the other people in this room. It doesn't mean you're not as good of a Christian. It doesn't mean that God doesn't have a plan for your life. You know what it means? It means you need Jesus. Just like I need Jesus. There's this saying that Mandy and I say to each other and to other people. Mandy's my wife. Did I say that already? Yeah, okay. Everybody is at the same level at the foot of the cross. So I picture myself and whatever. I've been following Jesus for, 1,000 years, feels like. I'm supposed to be kind of mature. And if you came up here and you just started following Jesus yesterday, we'd be at the same level. Because we just both, I don't need Jesus less than you do. We both need Jesus absolutely. Right? So if you're walking in darkness today, don't leave tonight without getting prayer and or talking to someone trustworthy and getting out of the darkness and into the light. See, Satan loves to keep things secret and God likes to expose things because freedom comes when we expose things, okay? That's the side note, but it's important. And we're gonna have a prayer for you tonight. So hold on, okay? Number 2, do you know anyone who's walking in darkness? There's this old prayer that I learned when I was a teenager at YWAM, and maybe other people have learned it. I'm sure you've heard it before. It's break my heart for the things that break your heart, God. And if I could walk around my school, do you ever do this? Do you ever walk around your school saying, I wonder what God is seeing right now? There goes that person next to me, and you have your thoughts, they didn't even try today, right? With their outfit, they look terrible. Or did they just roll out of bed in that? Which is true. Your whole generation, I just gotta say, you just roll out of bed and go to school now, don't you? It didn't used to be that way. We used to actually have to take showers and get dressed in the morning. It was hard. I've never seen so many kids come to soccer practice in pajamas in the last 3 years in my entire life. I kid you not. But that's not what we're talking about. Do you know anyone What would happen if you started to see people the way God sees them? God, break my heart for the things that break your heart. Here's the thing that I know. People in your life don't know Jesus and are walking in darkness. And the question is, okay, want me to be really mean about it? I won't make it a question. The truth is that you don't care that much. The truth is that I don't care that much. I don't care that much. I really don't. Let's be honest. Like, I care more if I can't find the remote to my TV. What have you done in your life to find things you've lost? Like a lot, right? Have you put that kind of effort into God's lost children? I want to break our hearts for the things that break God's heart. Like, the thing that needs to happen before you can talk about everybody knowing the gospel is we actually have to care. We have to get our hearts broken by Jesus so that when we are talking to our friend on the soccer team or talking to the lady behind the counter at Starbucks, that we see them with God's eyes. Every person we come into contact with in our life is a potential ministry opportunity. Every person, every gas station, every Wawa. You guys don't have Wawa. Wawa is where I meet people for Jesus. It's like a glorified gas station with really good coffee and sandwiches. Do you have one of those around here? Are you from Pennsylvania? Yo, let's go. I grew up in Maryland. Nice. What do we do? Like one of these things or something? Is that like what people do? Yeah? Oh, this way? Okay. Did you like that? Was that good, Kirsten, or no? Was that lit? No, sorry. Are you vibing with that? Yeah? Okay. All right. Okay. So, we want to start thinking about this. But here's the verse for this weekend. That's not the verse for this weekend. I lied to you. We're going to get to the verse for this weekend in a second. Jesus does this really weird thing. So let's go back to where we were talking about the fire, the Israelites, the big candles, Jesus, I'm the light of the world, yay, right? And then in another place, he totally flips the script and he says this, you are the light of the world. What? This is like when you are in class and your friend is doing something wrong and they kind of get you to partner with them a little bit, but you're hesitant and then you get in trouble and they don't. Has that ever happened to you? So annoying. That's what Jesus did. He's like, I'm the light of the world. Come on, guys, come on. And then he's like, you're the light of the world. And he just steps out of the frame. You're the light of the world now. So what I want you to understand and fully comprehend, which is impossible, but try, is that the 1400 years from the Israelites with the fire, tabernacles, slavery, freedom, promised land, Jesus, you. All of that was leading up to you. You, okay, just hang with me. You're the fire in the desert for people, right? You're the fire that leads people from, follow this, right? From slavery through the wilderness into the promised land. That's you, right? You're the light of the world. Jesus, oh, that's so nice of you guys. This is one of my life verses. We planted a church 6.5 years ago. I'm going to tell you, I left a church that I had a great job. I loved the church. I loved the people. But I realized that I had to do something different because we weren't reaching people who didn't know Jesus. We were only reaching Christians. And so I took everything I knew about not Christianity. I took everything I knew about pastoring and I set it aside and I said, Jesus, if you want me to reach people for you in a different way, I humble myself and I could go plant that kind of church in my sleep. But God was like, I want you to plant a church for unchurched people. And I was like, that's like starting a steakhouse for vegetarians, but we're going for it, okay? And so we named our church City Light because we're a city set on a hill, the light of the world. You're the light of the world, a town. Okay, it always messes me up. It's supposed to say city. This is the NIV instead of New King James. But anyway, a city built on a hill or a town built on a hill. Town light, not a good name. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on its stand and it gives light to everyone in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven. Are you comfortable saying, I am God's light in my world. Go ahead. No. What's your name? Abigail, say it loud and proud. Let's go. I love it. Okay. I'm not in charge, but I think she should get some free merch for that. I don't know. What do you guys think? Yeah? Pound it. Air pound. That's it. Okay. I love interacting with you guys, but then I forget what I'm talking about. Oh, all right. So you need to own it. You need to own it everywhere you go. Like, here's the picture I want you to walk away with. And I'm actually, at the end of this, going to give you all a little flashlight. I know, I'm really old, okay? We use flashlights still. I'm cheesy. I like objects. I want you to put this on your keychain, if you're old enough, or on your backpack. And I want you to take this with you. You don't ever have to use it, but I just want you to see it every day and think, I'm the light. Like, here's the thing. It doesn't matter that you're the light of the world right now. We can all see already, right? It's not helpful. What matters is the other 6 days of the week, right? Saturday, wait, how's that work? Monday through Saturday. Like, you need to be the light. You need to realize that you're the light in school. I mean, I know it's so awkward, but you are. You're the light at soccer. You're the light at drama. You're the light at dance class. You're the light maybe in your family. You're the light in your neighborhood. You're the light at the gas station. Like, literally wherever you go, the light shines. Let's look at this verse for the weekend. I think it's now. I moved it. No, come on. All right. There we go. This is the verse for the weekend. How then can they call on the one they have not believed in? How are people supposed to find Jesus? This is beautiful. I was, let's see, 18 or 19 years old, and I was leading a traveling youth ministry up and down the East Coast. We were ministering to thousands of teenagers. That's not an exaggeration. God was really blessing us. And I remember Tuesday night, we prayed every Tuesday night from 7 to 8 p.m., and I was crying out to God for the lost. And God asked me this really powerful question. He said, how are they gonna get here? And I was like, I just thought if I prayed, they would show up. Like just lost people would be like, I don't know, I wandered into the church. I just felt a calling. How can they believe in the one of whom they have not heard? How can they hear without someone preaching? How can anyone preach unless they're sent? Guys, I hate to break it to us, but this means we have to get out of our comfort zone and go. We have to go be the light. Like, the church is the light, but we can't just sit here and wait like bugs to be attracted to us. We have to take it with us. Can we read this verse a little bit more? So I like to take verses, as you can tell, and highlight a few words at a time. You're the light of the world. A town on a hill cannot be hidden. Guess what? For better or for worse, if someone knows you're a Christian, you're the light. And sometimes that means the way that we're living our lives is reflecting a bad light on Jesus. That's the danger with having a testimony, because your testimony isn't guaranteed to be good, right? The way that have we seen Christians, and the media loves to take the popular ones that are really, blowing up their lives and make it obvious, but the light can't be hidden. Once you out yourself that you're a Christian, people are watching you. Do you believe that? I know you want to think you can fly under the radar. Even if you're an introvert, people are watching how you live your life, how you treat your friends, how you talk about people who aren't around, how you talk about your parents. I don't know what that means, but that's cool. All right. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on its stand, and it gives light to everyone. Sometimes it's tempting, isn't it? Not you guys, but sometimes as Christians, it's tempting to just enjoy ourselves. And let's be in church and enjoy the presence of God together. And let's stay in church. All right, I'm not trying to say anything negative about anybody, but sometimes I feel convicted. Okay, how can I say this? Okay, I realized before I planted this church that I didn't know any non-Christians. I'm a pastor. Everybody I knew is Christian. And I'd pray for the lost, and I'd be like, I don't know any. I met one. He was a father of one of my son's friends on a soccer team. And to be honest, meeting him is what drove me to plant a church, because I realized that I needed to build a church that he would come to. It changed my heart. It changed my life. And I'm not saying every church should look like my church, but I'm aiming at a very specific person. That's how God's wired me to be. But the light that we have, that we enjoy, I could worship for hours with you guys. I could go to church every night. Actually, when I was growing up, we were in the midst of a renewal. We were going to church 4 nights a week. But I wasn't sharing the gospel with non-Christians. I knew Christians. I knew the Holy Spirit. I knew thousands of worship songs. I knew all the different hand-raising gestures, like glory to God, I'm receiving, you're so big, right? All the different things, right? But and there's nothing wrong with that. Worship all you can, be in church, but if you fill your life so much with church that you don't know the lost, I want to just ask you that question. What's the point? You have to pour yourself out in order to be filled up. And so the light was not meant for the church, it's meant for everyone. In the same way, let your light shine before others, the people in your life, because they'll see your good deeds. They'll see how you live your life. It matters. How you live your life matters. What you say matters. How you treat people matters, because they're watching. And you are what? You're the light, man. You are the light. You're the one. Now listen, some people don't know they're in darkness. Some people do. Some people know. I just got a letter from someone in my church, and it was at Christmas time, and he was just thanking us for starting City Light. And he said, I knew I was missing something in my life. He was going years knowing he was missing something in his life. And then someone invited him to our church, and he said, this is what I was missing. I was missing the community. I was missing God. I was missing what City Light has. And I've come every week since the first week I came. There are people who know they're hurting. And then there's people that don't know they're in darkness. But they still will sense that you have something different. All right. Okay. It's probably been a half an hour. We're going to wrap it up. 35 more minutes. No, we'll just do 5 more minutes, okay? I like to be practical. So that's we did a little bit of rah-rah, passion. We did a little bit of Bible study, intellectual, so heart, intellectual. Right, now we're gonna do some hands, right? Not jazz hands, but hands, we're practical, okay? So here are some easy ways. Here's the thing that's great about this. Everybody can be the light of the world. You too can be the light of the world. You can do this. Very easy, practical help and service, right? They will see your what? Good deeds. He doesn't say, now listen, I'm not taking anything away from miracles, because that is a part of our scripture too. But it doesn't say miracles, it doesn't say Bible study. Just because I say it doesn't mean I think that's bad. But it actually says it'll see your good deeds. If you just go serve somebody, that is being the light. And everybody can serve. I have a neighbor who doesn't go to church. He's 85 years, I don't know how old he is, but he's old. And he always goes outside and tries to do stuff. I swear trees fall in his yard once a day. And it snows just on his property. No, not really. But as a follower of Jesus, I cannot look out my window and see him trying to move a tree out of in his yard, or see him trying to shovel. It is not an option. I have said it is no longer I who live, but Christ who lives in me, right? So I look out that window, I have to go be the light. And also, if I don't go, I'm still a certain kind of light, right? So Christians, don't do that. Practical service. You just get up off your butt and go serve people. What I've tried to teach my kids is that every moment, there is always someone to serve. You could make a game of it. You could try to serve 10 people by the time this weekend's over. Your group could decide to be the most servant-hearted group here. If there's chairs to stack, you run to stack them, right? It's practice. But then you get out in the real world, you're looking for people to serve. You're looking for people to serve. This one time, this guy pulled up to our driveway because we had a piece of furniture out front and he couldn't load it on his own. So we went out and we were trying to help him load it. And we loaded it in because every moment is an opportunity. You never know. Random dude stopped on my driveway, loading furniture. I see a Bible on his dashboard. And so you just go. I just said, hey, I see a Bible on your dashboard. And he's like, I kid you not. He's like, I know. I just really struggling. And he just starts crying. And literally people are driving by. We live on a busy road and here's this guy kneeling in my driveway crying as my wife and I pray for him. Just because we tried to help him move some furniture. You just never know. All right, random acts of kindness. We were driving one day. I know snow happens a lot around here. We were driving one day and I looked out, we're literally driving on a back road going 40 miles an hour. Driving, I don't know where we were going, me and my wife. I look over, we both look over and there's this old lady. I don't know if it's about old people and shoveling, but it really bothers me. So this old lady, tiny old lady, she's like, right? And she's got this giant driveway. And we just looked at each other. My wife and I just looked at each other you can't drive by that. You can't drive by that. That's, if you've ever read The Good Samaritan, that's at least one lesson from that, right? So we're turn around, go back. And I shoveled the whole thing and my wife talked to her the whole time. And it was a long driveway. But you never know. You never know. Oh, can I tell you about my friend John? All right, sorry, we're gonna end sometime. No guarantees my voice works tomorrow night, but any of you ever shop on Facebook Marketplace? I know you're young, so you were like, Facebook what? Okay, let's ask a different question. Do any of your parents shop on Facebook Marketplace? Yeah, there you go. All right. It's this weird criminal syndicate that adults like to do where they sell junk to each other and rip each other off, okay? So my wife loves Facebook Marketplace, and she bought a set of weights from some dude that lived 45 minutes away from us, so I had to drive down to this guy's house. I pull up to the guy's house, I back up to his garage, he opens the garage, and we're like, there's so many weights. And so we're loading, and this guy, have you ever noticed that people open up around you because the Holy Spirit's inside of you? So he just starts talking. And see, the thing is, I've lived long enough to recognize when God's working. And also I'm want to be part of this. I want to be the light. So he's talking. And to be honest, I'm in a hurry. I don't really want to talk to this guy. I don't even really care about the weights. I wanted to go home. But after about 5 minutes, I was like, oh, God is God. So sometimes you can follow Jesus a little begrudgingly. It's okay. It's okay, God, here we go, right? But it's okay, I revved up to it. So he's talking, he's sharing, I'm asking questions, he's sharing, he's talking about how his wife has cancer and they had a meltdown in their marriage and he got kicked out of the house and this isn't his house. He's just living in a bedroom of some friend's house and he's really directionless. And I said, you know what? I didn't know his name was John, but you know what, John? I was like, it's weird that I'm here today picking up these weights because I'm a pastor. And I just feel like you need God in your life. And he was like, stop. And I was like, okay. I just told my friend this morning, I haven't been to church in 3 years. I just told him that I have to get back to church. And then a pastor walks into my garage and he starts flipping out. He was like, oh my gosh, I'm coming to your church, right? And I'm like, dude, it's 45 minutes away. He's like, I don't care. So I gave him my card. And he came to church. And that was 2 years ago. He's still coming to church. Seriously, guys. His wife is coming to church. They're back together, living in the same house together. You are the light of the world. Everywhere you go, you can't just check out. You can't turn this light off. I can't be just well, come on, I just want to get these weights and go home. This guy's eternal destiny was on the line. His marriage was on the line, potentially generations after him. Do you understand? When the light comes and brings people from slavery into the promised land, it changes people forever. It's not just a feel-good story. We're talking about light conquering darkness through you. You can do it through simple words of encouragement. I'm just gonna flip to these. Everybody can do these. Prayer, sharing your faith, so much more. That's a really good one right there. All right, I have stories for all those, but we need to land here, okay? Listen, everybody can do this. If you're an introvert, you can do this. My wife's an introvert. You know what she does? She sends people texts. She prays for people. You don't have to be like me. I'm an extrovert, so all my stories involve risk-taking. But you don't have to be like me. In fact, that would be unhealthy. We need to be balanced in the body of Christ. If you're good at being behind the scenes, be behind the scenes in someone's life who needs to know Jesus. Figure it out. Be the light. Serve people. Send words of encouragement. Text people. I don't care what it takes. Send birthday cards to everyone in your class. Probably not. That's probably a bad idea. That's kind of creepy. But you know what I mean? Like, look for ways to do this. Yeah? Okay, so Jesus, like Israel, fire, Jesus, you. You got it? You're the light of the world. Can I read you one thing? This is from John. He sent this to me at Christmas. Good evening, brothers. He's very formal sometimes. First, I hope you and your families have a very blessed holiday weekend. Oh, time out. Stop reading. He texted this to me and two of my buddies that he has become close to at our church. That's all you need to know. Okay. I want to talk to you three for I want to thank you three for all the help and support you've given me over this past year. Chris, that's me, because he still thinks my name's Chris. It's Christian. I want to especially thank you for coming into my life when you did. Listen to this, guys, because it's changed my life in so many ways. Now, did I do that? No. But I brought the light of Jesus into his life. Mark, the same for you. Also, that night at the retreat was really a blessing. Dan, what you've done, I can't even put into words. You three have changed my life in so many ways, and I love you three so much. Now I'm back home, like he moved back home. I can't wait to see what this next season brings and how God will use us, him and his wife. I'm also excited for this journey with my wife. Oh yeah, there you said it. Well, I just wanted to thank you three. I love you, brothers. How cool is that? How cool is that?